race fans, are you ready? You wanted the best, you've got them four abreast. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Race Ready Media Podcast. I'm your host, Hunter. With me was Dev.
What's going on?
And Weston, who's in the middle of taking a drink. Very professional, sir.
Hello.
Both got some slick-looking hats on tonight. Love to see
Thank you.
the expression, boys. Rocking the 1980s, USA hockey hat. The women are playing for gold tonight, so that's why we're all decked out. What's up, Weston?
I'm wearing a 1997 Jeff Gordon Winston Cup champion hat.
There it is.
Shout out to eBay. Devin, what are you rocking?
This Tampa Bay Race hat. It's the inaugural season patch on the side, so
That's hard, bro.
I know it's pretty clean. So
It is. That's
figure
hard.
I had to cop it.
All the boys looking fresh tonight.
100%. But we're gonna have to start off the episode with on sort of a sad note. As you guys have all figured out or know by now, the passing of Kevin Olsen. I personally didn't know him, and I haven't been racing long enough to know him. But Devin wanted to say a few words to memorialize him, so I'm gonna let him take that away real quick.
Yeah, it's never easy to talk about stuff like this, especially in the racing world. I always feel like outside of family, you don't really have anybody else, but especially the people that we deal with in racing, they almost come more family as your own family sometimes. I'm kind of too young to have gotten to watch Kevin Olsen race, but I had the pleasure of watching him at Chili Bowl, and I remember being a little kid just kind of running around at the expo center and always seeing this shirt that said farewell tour. And I was kind of like, man, that's kind of cool. Like you have a shirt to sign off with, it's to put your final stamp on the racing community. And came back the next year for Chili Bowl, and there they were again, farewell tour, second annual farewell tour. And I'm like, that's the same guy. Everybody kind of knows that was his joke. I think he had up to 7 farewell tour shirts. He was just a super goofball type of guy. You definitely know who he was just being around the expo, especially during Chili Bowl time. He's quite the jokester. He set off some smoke bombs, I've heard, and stink bombs and stuff like that during driver meetings. And besides the fact of him just being a goofball, he was pretty serious on the racetrack. He was a 2-time USAC national champion in the midget division and 5-time champ with the Badger midgets. So, he knew his way around a racetrack, and it's tough to hear the loss of a legend like that. And especially to hear that his wife is also suffering, that she's in critical condition. So definite thoughts, prayers go out to the family and all of his friends that I've been pretty close with Kevin. So it's about all I know what to say on his side. So we can just wrap it up there, I guess.
Weston, you have anything to say before I go into my little snippet?
I think probably the coolest thing I'll remember about Kevin Olsen is him wearing an open face helmet at Chili Bowl every year.
Yeah, that is what I was gonna talk about. Coming back into the racing world a few years back, I saw that picture go around and I was like, can you still wear that? Like I thought it was the craziest thing ever when I saw him wearing that.
So I think Emmett actually told him no, and no to prelim night stuff, he couldn't wear it. So Emmett kind of was like, if you want to wear it for practice night, because you really only get 3 to 5 laps on practice day. So Emmett was like, screw it. So one night, or 1 year, not even just 1 year, it's multiple years, he'd rock open face helmet with the goggles and the bandana. And I think even 1 year he went in just a t-shirt and pant, jeans. Just straight up old school dude.
That is crazy.
I forgot to mention, he's actually got a book out called Cages Are for Monkeys. I'm actually about to purchase it. It goes more into depth of who he was as a person and stuff like that. But did you guys know he actually repaired light bulbs?
No, what?
I did. I figured that out whenever I watched the tribute video to him that Usac put out.
So I mean, it's obviously a joke,
Right.
but no, yeah, like back when it was like Tuesday Night Thunder stuff was big, they interviewed him, and he actually went into depth with that about that interview with what used to be Ripped Offense podcast, which I now believe is Loud Pedal podcast. He was sitting pretty far up front, I think. So they were just kind of interviewing drivers, and they're like, oh, this is Kevin Olsen. He's like, I could tell that this guy did not give two shits like who I was or anything. He's like, so I took that time to just mess around, and they're like, like outside of racing, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I repair light bulbs, and like after that the joke has just taken off. So
that's awesome.
but yeah, total goofball. Everybody put a smile on anybody's face. So
that's awesome, and I'm glad we took the time to send our appreciation. Or Dev, you sent your appreciation. I'm unfortunate enough to not have got to watch him race and stuff like that, but the way you speak of him and how the entire racing world has spoke of him the last couple weeks, it's definitely he was definitely an important character in the world, and he will be dearly missed. And it's just it's a sad reality that people like that go away sometimes, and it's hard to cope with when you lose a important figure like that. But on a lighter note, I think we're going to jump into racing talk finally. We do finally have racing to talk about, which is fantastic. That isn't in a Coliseum. But but I think we need to we need to start with the fact that Justin Grant went and swept the weekend. Like outclassed everybody at Bubba. Went in there like it was his day job. I mean, did you guys get a chance to watch that?
Did you watch it or anything, Weston?
I saw bits and pieces of it. I was in Houston for a birthday party. Shout out to the Battery Boys for the hospitality. But I was watching bits and pieces of it. I was more focused on the outlaw races, but more than anything. But what night was it that they cut the race short because of rain? Was it night 2?
Night 2, I believe.
They did.
Yeah, they cut it. I'm pretty sure they cut it short. I think it was night 2. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't get to watch. I didn't get to watch all of it. I had a busy weekend. My brother was playing hockey and stuff like that, so I was really preoccupied this weekend. I watched what I could, but yeah, I know they had rain like all weekend down there, and it never touched the Outlaws, which I thought was crazy because they always have a night down there that. Okay, well, they didn't rain a night out. This is what I'm saying. But I don't remember. All I remember is Grant sweeping the weekend. And did you guys catch the flip by Brenham Crouch?
Yep.
Did you guys catch
that?
I didn't see it. Was it?
It was bad.
Wait, I think I saw it on.
It was all over Twitter.
I think I saw it on Twitter. That was a lick.
He went over and over and over, and I didn't know when he was gonna stop.
But I sent it in the group because I said rumor still has it he's still flipping. Like
yeah.
It was a big one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was. We're lucky that he only came away with just a concussion, I think is what it was. But that was crazy. That was one of the bigger flips that I've seen in a long time, especially out of a midget.
Speaking of crashes at Bubba, what happened with Buddy? Did he blow a right rear or something?
In the sprint car?
In the sprint car, because he was hot lapping.
During practice.
Yeah.
Practice night. Or
he was there during the day, just like testing or something.
I think he cut a right rear or blew a right rear, and then it went over. I didn't catch the full story, but I know it was all over Twitter. They were putting it back together already, but someone said, I think Keith might have posted that a right rear went down or cut a right rear or something like that, and it caused him
something
to flip.
like that.
I saw that like a piece of the right rear like went and hit someone's motorhome and it shattered the window in the motorhome.
Dang, you're kidding me.
Mm-mm.
That's an expensive trip.
So it had to have been like pretty like nutty explosion of the right rear.
Yeah, it had to have been. I mean, it had to have
Like it was like
obliterated
like
it.
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't just losing air. Like it just like popped.
Yeah, it had to have like obliterated that thing, like shredded it.
Yeah, I mean that's typical. That's Hoosier for you.
Yeah, that is. I mean, chalk marks, right, guys? Chalk marks. Anybody?
I'm gonna roll this out. I want this to be 104 and a quarter, and it's gonna roll out to like 101.
That's fine. You know what? Just add air.
That's fine.
Just add air. That's fine.
Just add 37 pounds in it.
Yes, exactly. Just gonna talk.
Hey, on a Kaiser too, please.
Oh God.
Oh Lord.
We're not gonna talk about that.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Anyways.
Anyways, Volusia.
So did you guys watch night 2 highlights or anything like that? Because I just want to point out how Jade led damn near half of it until she caught lap traffic.
Oh, that's right. She did.
She looked strong and she held a lot of speed. And then she got caught up by 2 lap cars, one on, they're racing each other.
Right.
The position. So one was on the top, one was on the bottom. I think that's just kind of one of those deals where she doesn't have enough experience in a midget to quite kind of figure out where she needs to go in a situation like that. Otherwise, I think we would have saw a different winner on night number 2 if Jade could have got through lap traffic a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean,
she
definitely looks sporty.
She's gonna win a race this year, I think.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Do you think it'll be what kind of do you think it'll be a USAC sanctioned race?
I think it'll be.
I think the first.
I was gonna say I think she could be the first.
Female.
I think she could be the first female. Wait, she can't run USAC, can she?
So I mean, she was at Bubba.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Duh.
So I would say I could see her winning a race in USAC and Power Eye this year. I mean, she's consistently fast. I mean, it's been like that ever since she got in boat stuff, in the micro and boat stuff. So I mean, I think she's gonna be quick. And I mean, I don't know like what type of track she'd win on. I mean, anyone can win any night, but I mean, yeah. But I'm on the Jade on the Jade fan club, and I think she'll get a win this year.
Isn't she one of the boat cars signed on to run the Extreme though, as well?
I'm sure because Boat signed on.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
she's one of the Extreme drivers.
But then again, I mean, that's just like that. It's like we talked about before, like with the sprint cars. I think that's just another option for them too. So they're going to be at plenty of USAC. They're going to be at plenty of USAC and Power Hour races. So, and then this is just another option for them. So
100%, yeah.
So
no, I think she signed on to run all the races, but I don't know if obviously there's not enough races to make a season out of it in the extreme stuff yet. Which
because those first races are in Farmer City, aren't they? In April.
Midget stuff,
yeah, like April.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but speaking of extremes, did you guys catch any of the extreme races? I caught a few or both of them.
It sucks that I'm on this racing podcast and I have to constantly keep watching highlights, but I once again caught the highlights of both nights. So
when this podcast gets big enough and it's our job to watch it, then we'll
sit down and watch it.
But until then, like we've all got lives. Yeah, we've all got lives outside of the podcast. So
of course.
But I didn't catch I caught the first night highlights, but I didn't really catch any of the second night highlights. I know Team Ez won and he had a great line in victory lane because it's typical Team Ez. It's Team Ez, but overall I think it was a pretty big success. I mean, that's just, it's again, you saw a lot of the USAC guys there, and again, it's just another option for them. You saw all those people on Twitter or on social media in general saying like, oh, they're a threat to the USAC now. Like, no, just right now, it's just another option for everyone to go race. And
absolutely.
you have guys from the Midwest that are able to commit to a traveling series, because you got Shooty down there.
Yeah.
Who else was down there? It was Kyle Shooty. Kyle Shooty was down there. I can't remember who else was there. Who else was with him? But
does Cottle run USAC? He was down there.
Cottle's in the Amati car, and Amati's back, the 66 car.
No, Cochran. That's Cochran. That's
Cochran. Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, they came back. God, I couldn't even tell you how long they've been out of. I mean, traveling.
Just like dormant, or like just haven't had a car, or what? Like
just in general. I mean, they haven't been involved in racing in a while. They actually had I believe it was Cochran's. They had him slated to run Chili Bowl with them in like 18 or something like that, and they just never showed up.
Wow, that's weird.
Like they were entered and everything, and then so I was looking for their car because I mean their stuff's always clean, and
Of course, yeah.
I was like, man, where the hell are they? Message a friend, and I'm like, hey, like, where are you guys at? Oh, we talked to them. We'll be fine if we're just skipping practice. We'll be there by our prelim. And I'm like, okay, whatever, And here comes their prelim. And I'm like, you guys still aren't here. What's going on? And they're like, yeah, we're just not coming. I'm like, God dang. So
it's tragic.
Well, the guy that used to drive for him won night 2. So
yeah, right. I mean,
team has tore up a lot of stuff with them.
Well, it was like, was it first or second night out? They kicked the season off at Bubba, and
they're at Bubba.
He won, and he freaking did victory donuts and blew the motor up.
Yeah, he turned like $95,000 on the motor, is what I heard.
So they took him they took a month off after that.
That's so bad.
Well, and then they canned him during sprint week that year too, didn't they?
Something like that. It was
something like that because he was tearing a lot of stuff up, and then they put Leary in the car, and Leary won a race during the BC race. This is 2016. Leary won at Kokomo during the BC race, and then they went to Huset's for that like 100,000 or 50,000 to win race, whatever it was. It was that race that Chad Basely won. I think you remember that, right, Dev?
Oh yeah, Huset's.
And then
I don't remember what it was called, but
I don't remember what it was called. It was a big money race, but Leary was in that car. They blew up a motor in hot laps, so they brought the backup car down, and then they went out for qualifying, and he gets up on the bike and just destroys this car. Like the entire front clip was gone.
That's a triple X for you.
Yeah, you'll have that. But speaking of Leary, he looked pretty sporty in night 1. I mean, he looked fast. They went in that, not like the first ever extreme race. He looked fast.
Yeah,
that car is always fast, dude. That Ford rips.
And then he won the overall, won the big gator. Yep. So I mean,
yeah, he won the big gator.
He looked good. He looked real sporty. He walked away with it night 1 for sure. And then I don't remember where he ended up night 2. I just remember watching team.
Good enough to win the gator.
I mean, obviously he finished high enough to win the gator. So,
but I know they got rain on the Tuesday night portion, but how fast were those non-wing cars ripping around Volusia?
They were flying around Volusia. They were hauling ass.
I hope that catches Usac's eyes and they decide okay, Bubba's not the place to be running, especially
more half miles.
And they go to Volusia.
Give me Terre Haute. I'm kidding.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not us out there.
It's true. It's not us out there.
That's where the men show up, is the big half miles.
Yeah,
that's true.
I personally like watching race at Terre Haute. I think it's sick. Personally,
I like Terre Haute, but I can see why it's frightening. The wall, let's just stack some concrete blocks and call it a wall. It used to have. I don't remember who was talking about it, but it was an old Jack Slash podcast, and someone was like, "I would rather flip out of the ballpark and have a concussion than flip into a concrete wall and hit my head."
I feel like that was Grant or somebody talking.
No, because I remember Grant's interview. He's like, "I'm just less scared of the concrete than everybody else." He's dumb.
But isn't he the one that also
ballparked
it?
Grant ballparked it and
some dude's
yes,
hood
yes,
and
I remember.
Gets out, busts his ass, and they found the owner of that car, and they're like, "Man, we're so sorry." And he's like, "This is badass."
This is so sick.
Apparently that guy kicked the
roof back in or some shit and drove home.
He called it a day. That's awesome.
That's Indiana, dude.
They love it. They love it out there.
fans out there.
Like I said, I told you the other night. I said I really want to go to Kokomo. I want to go out I haven't been out to Indiana during race season, so.
Oh, dude.
I would love to go to Kokomo.
Dude.
I would honestly say
podcast trip.
I would say if you're gonna pick a week to go to Indy, it'd be midget week because you get like the best of both worlds. The midgets run, and then you get the sprint cars.
Yeah.
So,
Sick.
I mean, when you get the sprint, like Indiana Sprint Week, I think it's just sprint cars and maybe whatever they can scrub up locally. So
yeah,
I would definitely say midget week is probably the best one to go to if you've never been out.
Well, I just want to go to at least Kokomo is so famous out there, so like I really want to go to Kokomo, and I love seeing all like the videos of them flipping the lights on and off, and it gives me like hockey game vibes, like
it
like
gives
pregame.
You chills.
Yeah,
just even being in the stands, just being the atmosphere alone just amps you up, man.
I bet that's wild. I'm gonna make it out to Kokomo at some point. I just don't know when. Hopefully it's soon, but. Yeah, I cannot wait for the rest of the Extreme Series, and I can't wait for Usac to start kicking back off. You know, the sprint car. I think they run this weekend at.
Yeah, they practice tonight.
They practice down at Bubba, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
this is Thursday, the night we're recording this. By the way,
yes, this is Thursday, the night we are. This is
people
Wednesday, the night we're recording.
Come on.
Thursday's when it's gonna go out. Thursday's when it's gonna go out. So
Lord.
By the time you're seeing this, it will be the night one of the Usac Opener. Yes.
Okay, so do you guys want to pick some guys for that one?
Ooh.
Sure. I'm the furthest thing from knowledgeable about anything.
It's
like
hard to tell because I don't really know who's gonna be there. Like, I don't think Orson's gonna be there, is he? Well, he might because there's no wing stuff.
Maybe. I'm taking Justin Grant.
I'm gonna say it'll be him or
JG or Leary.
I mean, JG did look pretty sporty in the non-wing car at Volusia.
Like Stevie will be good. I'm
good.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Team-Ez is there too. So
I mean, I'll be biased and pick CV, but you know.
And here's a sleeper for you guys, Robert Ballou. I mean,
he looked good.
He looks
he
very
goes
good.
up on the big fast racetracks. I don't know what it is, but he's another guy that'll be running up front, I'm sure.
Yeah, he actually surprised me pretty. Pretty heavily whenever he was just up on it. He looked like a wheelman again. Like,
yeah,
everybody always talks about how like good he used to be, and apparently he's still pretty damn good. I mean, he looked like he was elbows up all weekend. I mean,
it sucks because his defending year of the USAC title got cut short due to injury, didn't it, Weston? Or was that
he flipped at Calistoga
and
got hurt there, and then he was starting to make a comeback, and then he broke his arm. I don't remember what year it was, but he broke his arm.
That would have been 2018
or something like that. So, yeah, but I think it's just a matter of him getting healthy and just getting his confidence back up. But it's Robert Ballou. He's going to be fast.
Of course.
You want to hear a crazy story about Robert Ballou?
Sure do.
Of course. Other than him being related to Cole.
Yeah, last week's guest.
I went up to Kokomo Grand Prix, the midget deal. I just went to just go and hang out. I went with Bobby Milliser, and he was helping Flea at the time, which J-Mac was running that car. Flea was like, you guys need a place to stay? And we're just like, yeah, I had no idea what sleeping arrangements were or anything. I kind of figured maybe a hotel and then we would just sleep on the floor or what. And he's like, all right, let me get a hold of Bobby. I'm like, all right, like, don't know who that is. We show up to this dude's house, big shop, pretty nice house, and out walks this guy. I'm like, that's Robert Ballou. Like, I'm like a pretty big Robert Ballou fan and stuff. So
that's cool. We
go into the shop and he's showing us around the shop and the race cars and stuff like that. And so we go to bed that night, wake up the next morning. Robert's working on his race cars. We're working on the midget. And then Robert was kind of like, man, like, I kind of wish I had somebody to go on the road with me full time because it's just me and my wife. Or I think it's his girlfriend at the time.
Hard ass.
And I was like, I'm kind of thinking like, yeah, man, like that sucks that you don't have anybody. And And so he looked at Bobby because Bobby's a little bit older than I am. And he's more knowledgeable around a race car than I am too. So he's like, Bobby, you want to come to Indy? And Bobby's like, no, man, I got a wife at home. Like, I got a good job. Like, I can't stay. Robert looks at me and he's like, what about you? You want to come to Indy? And I'm like, I don't know shit about a race car. And he's like, I don't know shit about a race car either. We'll learn together. And I'm like, man, I don't know. And he's like, $600. You can live in my house for free. You're like, just work on my shit. We'll go racing. And I'm like,
That's so
oh,
cool.
hell, dude. Like, how do you?
Why are
turn
you
that
still
down?
here?
So what's crazy is I tell Jenna this all the time. I'm like, if I would have took that, we would have never started talking. Because like the next month, me and Jenna like started talking, and now we're dating for almost 3 years. So
That's
We love Jenny.
crazy.
yeah,
I
I was
mean, we love
almost
Jenny, but
almost to Indiana.
that's crazy, dude. That's
And then
nuts.
so then that year he broke his arm.
Oh,
so I'm
well,
like-
so you would have came back anyways, but
Yeah, I'm like, what would I have done then? Like, he's not gonna pay me to sit there.
right,
So
yeah, you would have to come home. So
it
it's-
sucks because like that's once in a lifetime opportunity that I turned down. Especially, I mean, it was a dream of mine to go on the road, especially USAC. But then again, it's kind of like there's a reason I'm still here. So
yeah, I mean, everything happens for a reason. I'm washed up hockey player for a reason. You know, I was so. But you know, if I wasn't washed up, I wouldn't have met you guys. So
That's true.
That is
Well,
true.
speaking of washed up, so the first 2 nights of Volusia with the All Stars washed out, and then night 1 with the Outlaws. Holy shit! I mean,
Yeah.
has anyone ever seen Volusia like that ever?
no,
well, so I think I saw that they put a new racing surface down this year, so that
Okay.
might have to have something to do with it because I was seeing people kind of bitching about it online, saying like we should just like go back to old Volusia. But then after you see like they rained out all those nights, and then the Outlaws show up and they get some racing, and that was some of the best racing we have ever seen at Volusia.
It
And
was really good.
I mean, the first night kind of sucked, you know, because it's rutted up and it was a cowboy up racetrack. But I mean, night number 2, that's going to go down as race of the year.
Mhm.
And that's the second night of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 1,000ths of a second that Hod got him at the line. I mean, that is insane.
Sheldon is nuts, dude.
hold on. Before we get to this, I gotta while I'm thinking about it, I gotta say something. We're gonna talk about the Outlaws, but that's the biggest thing on the topic here. We got to talk about this. Which one of you guys said who thinks that Tyler Courtney's gonna start slow again? Who was it?
Nobody. I was just
who
kind of.
asked the question is what I'm asking. Okay, there's your answer.
I mean, yeah, he won night number 1, but
I know, but I mean, like, he comes out the gate and wins. I mean, like, obviously he's not
Yeah.
gonna start super slow now. Like, I'm just saying, like, and that
No,
was
I
my
mean-
argument. Well, because he's in a wing car like a full year, and now he's gonna pick
he's
back up. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think it's safe to say that Sunshine is a wing guy now. Like
100%.
he's
Huge wing guy.
Yeah, I mean,
100%. Yeah. But how about Elias and wall riding the night before and then coming back and winning the next night?
that's
I've never seen a car do that before. Yeah.
That was pretty crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the in car. Like, I think I
Yeah.
sent it on
I-
Twitter.
yeah.
Like, I saw everyone in the comments saying when he was pulling the tear off, it's when he drifted up the track, and I couldn't see it. I mean, like,
so I was kind of because like being a driver, like when you see an in car, you always kind of watch the guy's hands and stuff like that and see what they're doing inside the car. I kind of saw it when he's doing this. He kind of like what I think Riley said in our group, that when he pulled, he kind of
oh goodness, like just like that.
he kind of
Yeah.
you know, he kind of jerked his right arm, and that upset the car, and which loaded the left rear, and then the car just kind of
And then he tried to
Shot.
recover. Yeah.
so I
Devin.
mean, you kind of have no time to Can you hear me
React.
now?
No, you're good.
Oh.
We've heard you the whole time.
The mute button was flashing, so I was like, God dang it, did I just say all this while I was
Oh
on-
no, you've been good the
Uh,
whole time.
So no, yeah, so like once it's once a car snaps like that, I mean, you almost have little to no time to react. So
Yeah, of course.
it's just a tough deal to see that a guy like that have a hiccup like that. But I mean, it's the beginning of the season, you know, you sat out of a car for quite a few months. So it's kind of understandable, but I doubt we'll see something like that happen from him again.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I doubt it, but go ahead, Weston. Sorry, I wasn't trying to.
So Devin, I was going to ask you, which side or what hand do you pull tear offs with whenever you're in a car? Because I always pulled it from the right.
So I used to pull from my right, but I bought one of those Pulse Easy Tear things. And when I jumped into the midget, there was a night at Creek, it was so rutted up that my head kept banging off the headrest. It broke it. So I emailed the Easy Tear guys. I'm like, look, like, I don't want anything from you guys. I just want you to know, like, hey, like, this is the first night on this thing. Like, I'm kind of upset, you know, like I dropped $25 on this and it broke first night out, yada, yada, yada. So they said, what color did you have? So I told them, they mailed me a new one for free, which was badass. Like, hats off to those guys.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they said, you know, since you are concerned about running on rough racetracks, switch to the left. So I'm like, it's going to be probably hard to get used to, but I mean, after hot laps, I was fine. Like, I could just pull from my left. So
I tried.
I was worried about the whole, you know, like, you always hear like pull with your dominant because it's going to be your quickest hand, but I don't think it really matters. I mean, I could pull a tear off in a midget at I-44, and that's pretty up pace race there. So
I tried to. We were at Meeker, and it like rained like a ton the night before. I'll send you a picture of it later, just of how the car looked. But like, it rained and rained, and I went through like 30 tear offs in like 10 laps, and I didn't have any more tear offs, so I had to pull off. But I tried it. I put the pulse thing on that next week because I went and bought one, and I tried doing it with my left hand. I was like, like, this isn't, like, I can't do it. So
they are even a little goofy to get used to, because like, if you don't, I took mine off like after a couple nights, because like I would go to pull it and like my thumb would kind of like grab the plastic piece and not the tear off. So I'm like, okay, like,
right,
I'm done with it. So I took it off, and I just have the Easy Tear like extended post, and that's it.
Right. That's what I ended up doing. I just got the fatter post.
Yep. So
but,
you can load them babies up. You can run like 90 tear offs if you want.
We ran Creek in the sprint car, and it was I can't remember what night it was, but it was really, really muddy in hot laps, and even in the heat race. And I think I went through like 30 or 25 or 30, and I was just ripping them.
Weston, that's just throwing money away.
I gotta see.
You know, it's 83 cents a tear, right?
I know that's 83 cents a tear. Hang on. Hey. Sponsor us.
Racing Optics.
Hey, you want to know something funny? Wayne knows the guy that runs Racing Optics.
Well, why didn't Wayne give us a hookup?
I don't know.
Hashtag sponsor the pod.
Me and Wayne were too busy in Dingus drinking.
That's the second week in a row you brought that up. I think it's gonna be a
that's a legendary story. I got to drink beer with Wayne Simmons.
Dude, Jenna asked me, she's like, what's that about? So I had to tell her the whole story.
Oh Lord.
I'm like, Weston will not let this go. Like,
no, and that's
it's amazing.
I guarantee you, Weston is taking this to the grave. Like,
that is a story that cannot be told on the
like
pod. But
one of Weston's last like final words is like, I got hammered at Dingus with
Wayne Simmons. Oh,
you try
Lord.
and top that. The only thing that can top that is when I was 18, we were in 3 and 4 at Knoxville, and Jason Sides offered me a beer.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I was like, damn it, like,
I can talk and walk.
True. But it's still cool. I mean,
no, I know.
It's still cool. It's Jason Sides offering me a Bud Light. Like, why would you? Why? The only reason I didn't do it is because there was a cop right there. So I was like,
can't do that. He's gonna get you an underage real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll tag you an underage real quick. We all know that those Knoxville cops are.
Oh yeah.
Well, speaking of, even be like that either. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I can't. I can't say that. I mean, it's good that they're
it is.
But underage drinking, but it's kind of like there's probably better stuff for you guys to be doing tonight than just babysitting 150 people or however many pile in.
Oh, it's more than 150. It's probably.
Oh, I know,
It's probably
but-
about
That's the
300
mo-
at least.
That's the most action those cops see all year. Let them have their moments.
True.
That's true.
Okay, so speaking of Jason Sides, he was my night 2 pick, and that was a dud.
Well, hold
That's
on. Did we
that's
cover
a
the night
shock.
1 picks?
Well, no. Who was everyone's big Gator pick? Mine was Brad Sweet.
Mine
That
was
was a dud.
Shoehart, and he looked not great.
Mine was Donald.
It looked good. I mean, he looked good the first night, but then what happened the next 2 nights?
I don't know. I mean, the first night, Donnie looked real sporty, and I thought, oh boy.
Like it's like the Don's back. Like
Yeah,
he's really
you're
back.
thinking like, hey, the fucking Don is back. Like,
Yeah,
and then I don't know. He just kind of like went to sleep the next 2 nights. I don't know, but
I think they've got something figured out with that forward, and he'll
Finally.
be fast. He'll
Yeah.
be more consistent than he has been
100%
the past couple years.
Yeah,
Brad, I don't know what the deal with Brad was. He was either just inconsistent or something was breaking on that 49 car.
Did he break first night or
first night
he broke-
Yeah.
He broke first night, and then the next 2 nights he just was kind of meh.
Yeah, just
He was just kind of points racing. Well, I mean, he's good at points racing, clearly.
yeah, he's great at points racing, but I mean, I don't know. Dev, your pick on McFadden though, that was close. He did good. He ran good second night. It was pretty. It was pretty good.
he didn't crack the podium though.
No, he didn't.
of
But it was
upsetting,
close. It was. I think he ran like 5th or something. Like I just
So
wanted to point that out.
I mean, new team. I mean, has he been to Volusia?
No,
He went to
I don't think so.
Because he was
He
stuck in
wasn't-
Australia.
yeah, he wasn't
He
there
wasn't. Yeah,
last year.
I was gonna say he was there last year, but no,
No,
he
he
wasn't.
wasn't.
He was stuck in
I don't-
Australia still.
I don't think he's been.
So 5th at your first time being there. I mean,
It's
that's
not bad. No,
that's not bad at all.
I
That
mean,
83 car is going to be a problem all year.
So
It really will be. I mean,
I think I'll be picking highly on McFadden.
100%.
almost all
Yeah.
the
Oh
year.
yeah. But
Yeah.
we need to talk about that A feature on the second night. I know we touched on it earlier, but like, right, race of the year already. Like,
Race of the year, 4/1000ths of a second, and I want to
mean-
also mention that gravel blew out the front shocks. Like,
did he really?
watch it, dude. Like, you could tell. I mean, they put the camera on him going through one of the corners, and he's coming out of 4, I think, and the whole front end is.
Oh,
So that thing had to have been a handful.
what, was it while he was leading?
Yeah, like
Damn.
He broke
Leading-
a shock. He broke a shock the third night too, didn't he?
I don't know.
If he hadn't blown out the shocks the second night, I think he would have doubled up.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he got the big gator. So
I mean, yeah, but
he-
and he got
he would've-
second. Because
because I think the problem is you can't really give it the power to get off because of the front end's going to wash out because there's no weight on the front end once you lose a shock. So
right.
I think he kind of had to nurse it, and I mean it's hard to tell because he wasn't really nursing it, but at the same time, like he kind of had to pedal it, and he still basically managed. He almost won it. So
you can't pedal it whenever you have Sheldon Hodenshield behind you, just
no, and that's the other thing,
manhandling
you know,
it.
So it just sucks that mechanical deal like that cost him a win. But I mean, second is nothing to be upset about.
No,
especially with the
absolutely
Outlaws.
not. But like Weston just said, like Sheldon's out of control fast, and I'll be I mean, and I think everyone says it, but I don't think it's a knock to him either because he's fast. I just think he's just got to tone it down at sometimes. I mean,
He's got big shoes to fill. and
100% he does, and I'm sure that has.
He's doing a pretty damn good job.
Oh no,
so
he
far.
is 100%. But I wanted to touch on a race last year. Do they remember when Blaney won at somewhere in Ohio?
Sharon, yeah.
And
Sheldon
and
kept on
was-
hitting the wall.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's just out of control. But I don't mean that in a bad way. I just think he's just, there's just still learning stuff. And I mean, he's still pretty young as far as racing goes. He's still fairly young, I would say.
He's gonna be around.
I think me and him are close to the same age.
Oh, okay, then yeah, like
So he's like 27, 28.
I mean,
around
you
there.
see Sammy still running. His dad just left last year, so I mean, he's got plenty of time. It's just all.
He's going to be around for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
100%, and he's hooked up with Nos, and he'll be in that Nos car until he doesn't want to be in it anymore. Basically, I mean,
Sheldon and Nos Energy has got to be like one of the most perfect pairings because I mean, you look at what Sheldon does off the racetrack. I mean, he's running he's running dirt bikes. He's
Yeah.
on his one wheel. I don't think Nos can get any better than Sheldon. I mean, other than their other guys, but I think Sheldon is their main guy.
100%. I mean, they sponsored the Outlaw car for a reason. So I mean, yeah, obviously,
Right.
I mean, they got Golubic, Copeland, Wyndham, Grant. I mean, they got all these good guys. Nos has got a really good team behind him. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
They've got great drivers. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have cameras on Shane at the Chili Bowl, excuse me, and stand-up guy too. All around, just stand-up guy. Dude, he's a great racer. I mean, Nos put together a pretty solid squad. I mean, it's crazy. And I mean, for them sponsoring they sponsor the midgets and they sponsor the
USAC sprints.
They sponsor the Outlaws. I mean, they sponsor the Nationals every year.
So
but now, I mean,
they're shelling out some
100%. But I feel like it's all coming back to them, in revenue.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah. I never drank a Nos before they started sponsoring the Outlaws, and then now I drink a bunch of Nos. So,
well, in the words of Brad Best, nobody drinks that shit.
Nobody drinks that shit. So
yeah, whatever, Brad.
So we were at Brad's house for the King's Royal or something.
Yes, we're at my dad's house.
And Sheldon's qualifying, and Brad Best Nos energy. Nobody drinks that shit. Next day I go to Quick Trip, buy a Nos, snap it to Hunter. I said, in the famous words of Brad Best, nobody drinks this shit. And that is why I am a nobody. So therefore I will drink this shit.
Hey, I love me a good Nos apple, so I'm a nobody myself. So Weston drinks it, so he's a nobody too.
So Devin, I have a trivia question for you. Who was the first driver of the Nos 17 car?
The first Nos 17?
Yes.
Is it an Outlaw guy?
It's an Outlaw. Yes,
well,
it's an Outlaw
was
guy.
the 17 car an Outlaw car at the time?
The 17 car was an Outlaw car at the time, yes.
Oh, it was Kyle Larson.
It was not Kyle Larson.
Wait, no.
Ricky Stenhouse.
Nope.
I thought you asked. Do you know who got their first win then?
Yes, Kyle got the 17's first win at Eagle, but the first guy that drove the Nos 17 was Jack Hodenshield.
Was
in
it
2017?
Really?
Yes, it was.
It really?
That is cool. That's a nice legacy.
So Joey was supposed to be driving the 17 car, but we all know what happened with the 17 car and Joey. So they put Hod in it, and Hod ran Knoxville that year in the 17 car. Remember,
he finished out the season or something, right?
He finished out the season with him, but they debuted the Nos sponsorship at Eldora that year, and then they I think Jack and Sheldon ran second and third at Lakeside that year, and Jack was in the Nos car. So fun fact
was
for everyone.
Was that when Sheldon was in the Southern Pacific Farms 93?
That was Sheldon's first year, because Sheldon was in his 93 car in 2017 whenever he won Rookie of the Year.
Right. Which, by the way, that 93 car has got the worst numbers, or the Southern Pacific Farm. And the only reason I say that is because of who my dad is.
Okay, Brad Best's son.
I know, and I have to listen to it every time it gets on the track. Oh, those
well, it's not just that, but
terrible.
His dad, when he was in that number 3 car, those numbers were horrendous.
Okay, maybe it's the 3 car, whatever. But
yeah,
it was the Southern Pacific Farms car. That's all I know. And he's like, "Oh, that number's hideous." I'm like, "Okay, Dad, thanks."
But anyways,
okay. I digress. Yeah.
So Volusia Outlaws are back.
On night three.
Night 3 was gravel. That was
right.
About it.
Taking rubber and qualifying though.
Congrats to Hoosier.
Congrats to Hoosier.
But they farmed it. Was it after qualifying or was it during?
It was after. I think, because I don't think they farmed it during. I just know that I saw plenty of pictures of people saying "Oh, this is my tire after."
Horrible.
It was this is Gravel's tire after 2 laps, and Wayne Johnson's left already or something like that. I mean,
Wayne did load up and leave.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's. Do you blame him?
No, I mean, especially with not having a huge budget. I mean, you don't want to just tear up tires.
He's not a top tier team with an unlimited budget. So
no, I don't blame him one bit actually.
To kill over $1,000 in tires.
No. I mean, I really don't blame him one bit, to be completely honest. I think that it was probably the smartest decision he could have made at that point, because and granted they did work it or whatever, and the feature ended up being okay, but it's still, you're still gonna run through a set of tires for qualifying, probably for the heat race, and then the
And then
feature.
one for the
I mean,
feature,
that's
yeah.
I mean that's
No
like
one said.
that's at least three right rears.
I mean, we all know that racing's like the not a money making sport at all, but I mean, you at least have to like
Break even.
make it to where
Try
break
and
even, or at least try even, and then. So no, you can't blame Wayne for leaving after burning up
No.
what.
But here's the
After
thing,
what-
like if he qualified, like that's all that matters. Like he'll get tow money for showing up.
Yeah,
So-
so he, I mean, that's
And
just
once again,
definitely
and just disclaimer, like this is just us talking. Like we know we don't know everything, but I mean, this is just from a person on the other side of the fence.
yeah,
perspective is all.
100%. I think it was a good idea on his part, and not
Oh, yeah.
not saying that he can't hang with them, because he obviously just ran a full season with them. I'm just saying, as far as not having a unlimited budget like some of these higher end teams like Donnie, NASCAR, all these people that have unlimited amounts of money. I mean, I'm not gonna want to waste that money just to burn up tires on a rubber down racetrack and qualifying.
Yeah, no.
Then if you qualify on a rubber down racetrack and you qualify bad, you're already starting in the back. I mean, like, what's the
It's
point?
an uphill battle after
Yeah,
that.
what's the point? I mean, but you saw guys lifting and qualifying because they were about to tear their shit up because, they were gonna blow a right rear in qualifying. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
But they did put the track back together at the end of the night and actually put on a pretty good show. So I will, hats off to them for that. But it's crazy, just crazy how. Stuff
Well, what's
like that
even
works.
crazier though is the fact that we went from rubber up to qualifying, and then a decent racetrack Saturday night to Monday. It was a beautiful racetrack for the non-wing guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was. It led right up into that. It was money. Right. Ow. It was money after that. It was. Because they took what, 1 day off. They probably worked it a hell of a lot.
They took
on
the Sunday.
They probably worked it a hell of a lot on Sunday. But yeah, Monday. That's like from these local tracks and stuff like that. It's like Port City, which obviously not a knock on Port City or anything. Local track, love that place to death. But it's just like you see like these money maker tracks, like high end tracks, Volusia, Knoxville, stuff like that. With the power these guys can have in putting a track together. They give them one night and it's boom. You got an amazing track for like these extreme cars that are coming the next night. And it put it together wildly. Just look at the difference of Thursday to Monday. Thursday reminded me of Turkey Night, the year Larson won, and it was a junk track because it had rained all.
Oh, because it rained like
Yes.
16 hours straight.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. It just was choppy, bumpy, just rough as hell, ruts everywhere. And then they got it. Had the best race of the year, a candidate already for the second race, best race of the year. And then you've got Saturday, which it was taking rubber in and qualifying, yes, but they reworked it. And then Sunday reworked it again entirely all day, I'm sure. And then Monday, another great track. So hats off to those guys because they put in the work. And hats off to the promoter for. I don't know who owns the track, but hats off to him for putting a
World Racing Group owns the track.
Okay, well, but regardless,
that's who owns the Outlands,
right? But I'm just saying, like, it's hats off to that guy, or hats off to these guys that do this stuff, So It's just crazy. It's just crazy what you can do with like a dirt track like that. It blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely nuts.
Oh yeah.
All right, so on the agenda now, Supercross.
That's all you
So
got.
Devin,
3, baby.
Huh?
I said Anaheim 3. It's gonna be a
A3.
short segment here.
So Jason Anderson, we've learned that if he falls in a practice, he'll end up winning the main event because he won 450s. And then I didn't watch Devin. Yeah.
Craig won 250s by
So
what seemed like a long shot.
okay, so Craig was just typical Craig.
And I'm pretty sure it was like, it seemed like it happened all night, but especially more in the 250 rank that everybody was struggling through the whoops. Like, I think
I saw
three,
Dino fell
three
in
spills in the
450.
whoops, and then for the 250s, I think, and then 1 or 2 in the 450s. So.
All right. Well, that's the Supercross portion of the podcast. I didn't watch. I'll watch this weekend for sure because I won't be going anywhere this weekend. But yeah, we'll have more of a Supercross segment on the next pod.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I have anything to do this weekend, so maybe we can have like a last little watch party, all of us together, and you guys can you guys can introduce it to me as we go along, because I haven't seen a Supercross race.
If I get asked to rescue somebody again at work, I'm probably gonna wreck the Amazon van.
Okay.
Saturday, I was like gonna be done at probably 3:00, and they're like, "Hey man, like, can you pick up like 20 stops?" And it was a nightmare.
Oh, that's a nightmare. Yeah, but I definitely.
This is Jeff Bezos' fault.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you guys,
how does it feel to be watched by Jeff Bezos on a daily basis, Devin?
It's kind of scary because, so like, I mean, if we want to get into it, like, so
yeah,
rescuing somebody at work, like somebody fell behind, nobody's really at fault for falling. I mean, anything can happen. But like, I'll get a text from my dispatcher, be like, pick up 25 stops or less. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's hard to do. Like, you just start scanning stuff. Like, you never know. And I called him like, hey dude, like, so I picked up stops from somebody on Tuesday, and the guy I picked stops up from had like 3 packages in his van somewhere that I didn't get. So I call him like, hey man, like, I'm missing 3 packages from this kid. Like, what's going on? And he was like, hold on, let me look. And I'm like, you may tell you like a stop number or anything? He's like, no, I know exactly what packages you just picked up. I'm like, oh, that's a little scary.
That is terrifying.
That's so weird.
That is terrifying.
So,
oh my gosh.
And they actually, like, if you don't pick up 25 or more from somebody when you rescue, like, they'll let you go.
Oh.
So I'm like, like, good thing I grabbed about 27 stops from that kid.
Sheesh. I know exactly what you picked up. Oh, okay. God dang.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, sorry, sir.
Okay.
Oh, God. They have like 2 distribution centers in Oklahoma City. It's right next to I-44, actually.
Yeah, it's right by that big ass airport hangar too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going south on I-44. They're both just right there.
Well,
my mom was like, you need to go work there. I'm like, I'd rather not go work in modern day slavery.
No, absolutely not.
If you can make it, like, I know here they were giving out a $2,000 signing bonus to work at the fulfillment center in Owasso.
Really?
That ain't worth it.
90 days, dude, you get $2,000.
No.
Well, yeah, I think I'm all right where I'm at now, but
Yeah, I'm fine driving, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we didn't have an interview this week. We're definitely gonna catch back up on an interview next week. Hopefully we have something in the wings. But it's getting late. Gold medal game's getting ready to come on. I hate to leave you guys, but is there any final remarks for this week's podcast before we sign out?
Corey LaJoy, Daytona 500 winner.
No, my God.
Book it.
How do you pick a restrictor plate when like
Give me Bobby Labonte.
Danica Patrick led like 20 laps one year. Like, how do we? You can't be like, oh, like, I don't know, just a restrictor plate race. Like, that's kind of a.
Give me Pitbull.
Which car? He's got 2 of them now. So
I don't know. I don't know these drivers.
Just like MJ's got 2 of them. Pitbull's got 2 of them.
Hey, so is Floyd really like fielding a car?
Yeah.
Is it this year?
Yeah, it's sponsored by Pit Viper.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, dude, that sponsorship is sick.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Is it gonna Is it gonna run the 500?
He's one of the. I'm watching qualifying right now. He's one of the 6 open cars that have to qualify, and there's only 4 spots.
Ooh.
So intriguing. So the duels are on tomorrow. So we shall see.
We shall see. But yeah, like I said. Wait, what?
I saw today on the Twitter machine that Logano quoted, like, somebody quoted him, like, I'm gonna race the duels like it's a 500, because if you're not out there to win, like, you're not, like, you might as well just not even be racing.
I don't know
So,
how aggressive they're going to be tomorrow, just based on like the part shortage with those new cars and stuff. I think
Yeah.
they're going to wait till. I think they'll wait till Sunday to tear stuff up. So we'll see.
Nice. Well, we should have something interesting to talk about on Sunday or on Monday next week, hopefully.
Exactly. So
But
unless Weston wants to do some extracurricular activities again.
extracurricular activities.
Yeah. So that's the reason. If you're wondering why it's coming out late,
yeah.
I had a solid night with some adult beverages last night with my old man. We were running cattle, and some adult beverages got thrown into the mix, and
Rest is history.
I mistakenly did not make it to the Zoom machine for the podcast last evening.
Needless
So,
to say, Western brought the backup car down.
Oh,
and
100%. 100%. He brought the backup car down.
I more or less did look like I look like Brenham in the at Bubba.
Yeah.
Hey, keep him above the belt, pal.
Above the belt. Oh man. But fellas, it was nice talking to you again. It's a pleasure, doing this with you, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content we're trying to put out here. Hopefully it's getting better and better. I feel like we're getting better, but ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll see you all on Wednesday next week. We're gonna try and get it out Wednesday next week. So Dev, sign us off. Weston, give us a goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, not that.
Oh my God.
Let's go USA Women's. And
USA.
Trevor,
bring home the gold. Trevor Casey, shout out to the boy. And
Alrighty.
go USA.
bye.
Have a good night, boys.
Later, boys.